Hey you all, also hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial, and in this video we'll be sewing this beautiful dress that comes with a shoulder drape, transfer that beautifies the dress, and we have a flowy flounce, a basic sleeve, and a ruffled skirt, which adds to the beauty of this dress. And in the previous video I shared the pattern drafting and how you can transfer your patterns to your fabric, which for this front pattern especially I mentioned that you should transfer it in a bias form. Yeah, cut it out in a bias form. And since you're likely not to be able to cut it on fold, not like you can do it, but yeah, it might be harder because of the neckline, the symmetric neckline and the asymmetric shoulder part. So I mentioned that you should just cut it out like you see me do it here in that video. And also don't forget to notch your dart legs. So now let's talk cut the flounce, and for the flounce I use the double fabric, meaning that my flounce is not a single fabric. You can decide to just do a single fabric if you want. To do that is just simple. Just make sure your fabric is not folded. Then you're going to just start your mark like you see me do it here, and along that mark you're going to be adding your flounce width. There's a particular way to go about cutting flounce, especially for beginners, and when I can, I'm going to be sharing the tutorial with you. But yeah, this is just the easiest way to go about it. Just start your curve, and along that your curve, you're going to follow it and add your flounce width. And for this case, I recommend that you do 4 inches so that even after weaving on both sides, you will have about 3 inches left. Do you understand? And since I folded, I'll be working with that same 4 inches or even 3.5. And after folding on both sides, I would have about 2.75 left. Yeah, or even that 3 inches left. So yeah, you're going to mark it and you're going to take note of how long you want your flounce to be. That depends on the amount of fabric you use for this flounce. So this is what I have at the end of the day, and you see me cutting it out. And cutting it out like this, you can even see that we maintain the same width from start to finish. And afterwards I'm going to pin it down just so it will not shift. Since I'm using the double fabric, yeah, it's just best that I pin it down so that even if I'm weaving, it will not shift while I'm doing that. But I say that I double folded on both ends, and I recommend that too. That is super neat and neater than just weaving it, except you're doing that weaving yourself. Most times if you leave it for someone else, it will not work like you want it. So yeah, the next thing now we'll be doing is to cut the sleeve. And once you're sure of the length, like the fabric you have there will give you the length of the sleeve that you want, you're going to fold first, and then you're going to fold again just so you cut for the two hands. Yeah, measure the width and make sure you're using the same width you usually use to fold your sleeve, just enough to go around the armhole. And then for my length, I use 8 inches. You see me marking 8 inches on both ends, and after joining, using half inch to join on the to the armhole, and then using 1.5 to fold on the down, I would have about 6 inches left, or better still, at the end of the day I'll have about 6.5 left. So go ahead and give it your basic sleeve cap curve. And then for the sleeve width here, round sleeve, yeah, you're going to make sure that it's not that the difference between that and your sleeve width is not much, just so it will be just as free as the one we are trying to copy. Then after cutting, you're going to notch the midpoint, and yeah, that's it for the sleeve. You're simply going to fold it on the down part and then you join it to the armhole like that. Now this is the lining for the front, which I said I closed the that we transfer to the neckline, yeah, and now it's on the side. And when I'm sewing, I'm not going to sew it to get all the way to the bust span. I'll stop about 1 inch or 0.75. Then I notch the dart width so that it will be easy for me to pick it. Then to do this, all you have to do is to just open the bust point line, then you close the dart you have on the neckline. You see that pattern we use for the front, just slice it into two on the midpoint, just so you use half of it to do this. It's nothing serious. And then this is the front, which we already cut out. That's the front pattern, yeah, which I said you should not forget to notch the dart. And to sew now, what you're going to do is to just sew, like start from your neck tip, then you sew until you get to the first notch, and then you're going to pick it from that one and place it on the other notch, then you stitch it down. For here I'm using a pin, but you should be doing that on your sewing machine. Then you sew from that point to this other point, pick the notch you have here and place it on the other notch, and then you stitch it down. Do you understand? Then afterwards, you're now going to be picking the one you have on the shoulder, pick from the side like this, yeah, and then you place it on the one along the neckline this way. But better still, get the midpoint of these dart legs, then you pick it from that point, and then you make sure that that part you pick it touches the notch you have on the along the armhole part, then you place it on the one you have along the neckline. But either ways, just go ahead and work with the dart you have there, just so it comes out like the one we are trying to copy. Then for this back pattern, you're simply going to sew the neckline, so the center back and the side seam in a way that you have your armhole, the shoulder line, and the down part open. Then for this one, after closing the bust dart, you're going to join the lining to the lining of the skirt, and then you join the fashion fabric to the fashion fabric. That's the top part and the skirt, to join them together, and you also close it on the side and on the neckline. And afterward, this is what I have. Go ahead and iron on your darts, but I recommend that you iron just on the dart on the right hand side. That's the dart on the neckline, yeah. Then you leave the other two, the drape on the shoulder and the other dart on the neckline on the left hand side. And then I also went ahead to close the center back or the back like I explained. Then what you see here means that I have ironed them neatly, and this is how they come out. I repeated the same thing with all of the pieces like I explained I would, yeah. That's it for the back, and then this is the sleeve. There's no lining for the sleeve. You're only going to sew like double fold on the down part of the sleeve, and this is it for my flounce, which I double folded on both sides like I explained I would, and iron them neatly. And yeah, this is what it's looking like. If you want, you can do double fabric like I did, and you can also double fold on both sides and iron it against weaving and against single fabric. So this one is for the gathers, which I've also gone ahead to fold it on the down part and iron it neatly, and this is what it's looking like. I folded tinily on that down part. Then this one right here is the top part, and that's the essence of you adding that 2 inches. So you're going to fold that 2 inches and iron it neatly if you want. Then you're going to sew, like gather your fabric 1 inch below this fold. Now just make sure you maintain that same 1 inch from one start to the other end. You run your gather stitches, then you go ahead and gather it to be the same width with where you will be fixing it on your gown. Do you understand? Then for this back now, what you're going to do is to use your zipper to measure down to where you want your zipper to stop. Then you close it from that point all the way to the end. And yeah, after fixing the zipper, this is what the center back is looking like. It came out super neat because I used an invisible zipper. Then this is what the shoulder is looking like. And at this point, we forgot to mention the flounce. You are supposed to stitch the flounce down on one side of the shoulder, that's on the left hand side, before you go ahead and close the shoulder. But please remember that I forgot to do that, and at the end of the day, what I did was to just stitch it down, like top stitch it in a way that it still came out neat on that shoulder. That's on the left hand side where you have the drape, yeah. But yeah, after trimming the armhole, like making sure that your front and back, the side seam are equal, you trim off the excess if there is any. Then you're going to fix your sleeve like you see me do it here on both sides. Afterwards, the next thing you'll be doing is to simply go ahead and close this side, do your final measurement. Don't forget the ½ inch is you should be adding on the bust and also on the hip. Do you understand? The waist, you use your actual waist measurement just so it grabs your waist. Then the other part will be loose fitted as we saw it. Then this is it for the gathers. I've gone ahead to run the gathers, and like I said, you're using your own circumference. That's the circumference where you'll be fixing these two. You're going to use that to know how much you're gathering the fabric. Now you're going to place your skirt like this. That's your gown, yeah. And then you're going to measure upwards 1 inch like this. Very, very important. So this also means that when you're transferring your gown to your fabric or your skirt to your fabric, you're going to remember this 1 inch and add it as an allowance. Instead of adding ½ inch like we usually do, you do 1 inch instead. And then this one now, I recommend that you mark it. Do not eyeball it. Mark it just so you are doing what you will be doing next on a straight line, yeah. So go ahead and mark 1 inch upward this way. Then I'm using my pencil because this pencil, after ironing, it will go off, but it will still be visible for me until I'm done without it cleaning. I didn't use chalk because I don't want something that will be permanent at the end of the day. So after marking it, you're now going to place the gathered fabric or the ruffled fabric this way. You see where you gathered this part here, that particular stitch, that's where you'll be placing on this 1 inch you just marked, and then you're going to simply stitch following that same gathered stitch until you get to the other end. That's from one center back to the other center back, and afterwards this is what you have. Can you see how neat this came out? Now the next thing I recommend that you do is to go back to your sewing machine and stitch it down following this same line that you have here. Go ahead and stitch it down, and the reason for that is that you see this first stitch that you used to stitch the both of them down here. If you try to like stretch it, it will do as if you're still gathering it. So running a second stitch will help keep it in place, and now it's firm without it behaving like you're still gathering the fabric. I don't know if you get. Then the next thing now is to place it like this. Then you take your lining, which should be, if you do times 4 of the fabric you used for your gathers here, you're going to do times 3 of the lining. Do you understand? Then you're going to get the midpoint like this. Like you have the center back, you have the notch for the side seam, you have the notch for the center front, then you have the other notch for the other side seam, and then you have the open part going to the center back. Do you understand? So go ahead and place it like this in a way that after sewing, it will cover your stitches and it will be neat there. And I forgot to mention that I used a cotton lining, a lightweight cotton lining, and it's super lightweight, just the same way this chiffon is super lightweight, because chiffon is a sheer fabric, yeah. So using a lightweight fabric will help make it better without making it bulky, and it comes out well. So after doing all of that, I went ahead to close the remaining part of the center back. I gave my dress a good press, and this is what it's looking like. You see that this came out so well, and you see the length of my flounce. If you're not comfortable with that, all you have to do is to just reduce the fabric you use for the flounce, and yeah, that's it. And this was what I was saying about making this part neat. I highly recommend that you do that. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. I hope you found this tutorial very helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you on my next one. Be good. Bye.